Good evening. Now this gets a little political, so you know how we do. We ain't about to get all into that. But there were some things I want to point out here that you already know this man don't miss. With his level of clowning and ignorance and comparisons to Street Fighter characters, well, yeah, you gotta see it to get your share of entertainment.
This is all the that's going on with the Rashids.
Bro, we ain't even 12 seconds in. Yo, I'm just saying.
Yo, what started all it? What's going on? What's going on in the UK? What started it?
You know what's crazy is you criticize people reviewing your content while reviewing other things going on. Like, come on.
Kins versus Rashids?
Bro, this is not a Capcom versus game. Stop. This is not a Street Fighter.
So the Rashids started it. There was 3 girls by immigrants. So Rashids did it, no? You said a black Christian dude some people and now they're tearing down Moscows.
Moscows? The area? You mean mosques?
Wait, tearing down what? I said Moscows. What?
You stupid.
Mosque. Got you. Got you. A Muslim church. Okay, so if a black person did it, why are the Rashids and Zacks at it?
You mean Kens?
They thought a Muslim, but it turns out it was a Christian man.
And that's the rough thing about media and people in media. People have to be extremely responsible about the things that they say, because giving out the wrong information, it can have some real life consequences. Now, as far as the UK and what's going on in the UK, I don't really want to too much speak on that because I'm not from there. So I don't know what they have going on.
What the mean can I explode?
Excuse yourself. Go to the bathroom. Just classless.
So a black person did it first. Nah, my allergies been tripping.
Just your allergies, huh? I'm gonna let you make it on that one, because just a whole lot more been tripping than just your allergies. But whatever, we'll move forward.
I need to chew some gum. So who started it? You said it was an immigrant. They want all immigrants gone. So they want all the Rashids out of UK. Yeah, I woke up with allergies today. And now they're banning immigrants. So is the UK actually banning Rashids?
Stupid ass.
UK colonized half the planet. Now they can't handle their own medicine. That's real though. Tell me that's not real.
It's not real though. There's a subset of people who did that. You know, people get the misconception, the fact that a certain subset from the group of people is a reflection of the entire people. A lot of these people who went on these conquests and did all this stuff that they did, a majority of their home was in poverty. A lot of the people were impoverished. Everybody wasn't over there living lavishly. You know, there was royals and everything else. You had tier systems of, there was the broke people, and then there was people who was kind of doing all right, and then you had the money, but the money wasn't around there. Everybody else was peasants outside of the money. Similar to the same caste system we have now, but it was a bit more egregious. So yes, to second that point, they are guilty by proximity, but a lot of those people had nothing to do with what that select group of few or militarized people did. They moved on their own accord. Like, even if you were to go as far as to talk about Genghis Khan and a lot of the conquerors, they moved on their own accord. That wasn't a reflection of the entirety of the people. You know, the same thing with Japan to China. That wasn't everybody in Japan. So it's based on the government. Whoever's at the top is how a lot of them were moving. Now, does that mean that there were not benefactors? Yes, there was benefactors. of said races or whatever it is. There were certain benefactors to where they had benefits over others, but it's not so much of a benefit to where it automatically built their life. Now, it did apply sometimes, but it did not apply to everyone and everybody. There was still heavy levels of unfairness and poverty. So yeah, just to kind of put it in context, you can't put a broad blanket on what people were doing. You know what I'm saying? Now, they may have had the ideology of oppression. Like, they may have had the ideology over there, like, yeah, take that, do that, whatever, which means they're complicit, but they did not reap the spoils of those who went around and violated the land, violated the women, robbed the land. That was a subset of militarized groups sanctioned by governments and or independent functioning armies. You know, so that's how that was, and we all know how things used to go. So if you didn't agree with things back in the day, it was like either you gonna get down or lay down. That's simply what it was. And if you wanted to not be in poverty or in a really messed up situation due to hierarchy, you join the military. But that doesn't forgive the fact that a lot of people who were in the military did not do deplorable things. They did very deplorable things, very foul things to people. I mean, all I'm gonna say is, like, people better hope to keep civilization alive and being civil, because that is not something you want to go back to. But just read them history books and read what took place. We do not want to go back there. Trust me, we want to keep it civilized. And also put it in relation to this to kind of put it in a more relevant perspective. You know how they have that saying that about men being evil in a bear in a forest situation? Well, the man they're referring to is not the everyday man. Every single man's not a creep. Every single man's not an assaulter. But however, you can see specific colors of men or specific types of men or specific ethnicities of men in the highest positions of power, and due to reflection of the fact of what they look like, you put that blame on all. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes people may see all of these people in leadership that look a certain way. That doesn't mean John up the street is going around assaulting broads in the, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean Eric or Daquan go around and just be accosting girls and taking them in the alleys. That's not how that works. Keisha ain't over here punching everybody in the store, you know, boy, but you let X tell it. You let X tell it. That's all of them. That's the same way Meg the Stallion was at a darn Harris rally. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because all you guys like, no, we don't. We're not a monolith. We do not like that. I was like, we want to hear about politics, and you bring somebody to twerk. That's what, you know what I'm saying? So you got to use your common sense. So yes, there may be a certain face on a level of destruction or somebody doing something deplorable, but you have to remember that's not of 100 percentile, because everybody doesn't agree with that. You know, there might be a subset that does, but that doesn't mean all, nor does that mean all are a benefactor of what that said person did. They just happen to look like that or be of that origin. That makes sense?
These motherfuckers shipped the seas, sailed the seas, f***ed everybody, enslaved everybody, right? Bro, there's like damn near everybody on earth got European blood in them. Almost everybody. Especially blacks. And it's like, damn. Now it's coming to bite them all in the ass.
Once again, that does not apply to all of them. It applies to the ones who have the power, because the ones who have the power make the ultimate decision. At the end of the day, this was not, y'all keep confusing this, saying like every John, Eric, and Amy had this going on. That's not the case. Now, they may have engaged in prejudiced behavior, but as far as the large scale of destruction, that was a very organized subset group of people. It was not everybody. Now, I ain't saying they ain't do some wrong, but that stuff that y'all talking about, where they was going over there acting, going to different countries, wilding out, just taking shit, that is not the ordinary man. Like, that was sanctioned and orchestrated, and it was not by everybody. So I just want to be sure that everybody has a fair perspective on how they're seeing things, because when you're in your bubble, a lot of this stuff can leave you blinded to what's going on around you. And that's extremely common. You know, when you just talk to your neighbor and you speak to the person around you, you know, I'll give you an example. For example, there's a huge theory about black people just being lazy, which is one of the biggest misconceptions about the American black person. There's a theory that they're just lazy, don't want to work, and we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. No, the real story behind why black people are unsuccessful is due to the destruction of our communities, due to systemic destruction by the government, due to unfair business practices to where we don't get the appropriate amounts for our houses that we sell, not getting fair interest rates on loans, having our actual banks be destroyed, not giving our funds back and having them distributed amongst the people who took it, minding our own business, having people go in, poison us, and do everything else. So yes, a lot of things have taken place. So I don't never want to just override it like, no, ain't nothing ever. No, stuff happened. But when you're in your bubble and you have a narrative, my whole point of this is narratives. When you have a narrative and something that people are selling, this is what they do. They want to pin people against each other. That's what they want. They want this person. They want you to see your neighbor as your enemy. So I just really wanted to correct that aspect to be very clear that, yes, what he said did take place, but no, it did not apply to everyone. And I promise you, any of these guys who had women at home or even kids at home and they are old enough for understanding, I highly doubt these men went back home and talked about these things with pride. I highly doubt they really came home and kept it real with what they really did. They were just regarded as heroes, but they didn't really say what they were really doing. But when you look in those history books and they kind of sugarcoat what they were doing, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm getting at? That's my point. And hopefully I explained that concise enough. So I want to say it one last time to be sure that it's understood clearly. I'm not saying victimization did not take place. However, what I'm saying is it wasn't everybody. The same way you see things today, you may see something all the time due to your algorithm. But remember, that's not everybody. But if you kicked it with your boy this long, I appreciate you hanging with me. Links in the description below like always. In the meanwhile, I'm out. Have a good one.